Next, I have a real delightful opportunity to introduce a legendary serial entrepreneur. A man that could have easily retired after his Puzzles and Dragons game became the first mobile game to surpass $1 billion in sales. Instead, it drove him on to make more and more angel investments, found his own venture capital fund, Mistletoe, and to make some truly revolutionary, transformative investments into VR and other technologies. He's also built a bridge to Estonia and invested into our very own revolutionary technology, Thunderbeam. And it is my honor to bring on now Mr. Taizo Son.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Taizo. First of all, thank you very much for having me to such a great event, Latitude 59. And it is really such a great honor to be here. I'm so excited. This is the very first time for me to visit Estonia, and the city is really beautiful, unbelievably beautiful. And also, the people are very, very frank and casual and open mind. It's very kind to me, everybody. So I'm so excited to be here. And also today, I'd like to share what I am and also what I have done before, and also my latest thoughts and what I like to do in the future. Okay. Let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Taizo Son again, and I'm a serial entrepreneur for more than 20 years. I'm a big believer and a big enthusiast about of the startups and also the startup movement. So especially in these days, I'm dedicating to the supporting the young entrepreneurs in the world. As you might know, in 2011, in Japan, there was a big earthquake, and more than 150,000 people died because of the earthquake. And it made me a shock. It shocked to me, and also that I changed the mindset radically, dramatically. So I was trying very hard to as an entrepreneur, one of the entrepreneurs, to make a new value to the world. But on the other hand, I thought that I should do something to contribute to the society. So by supporting the young entrepreneurs in the world. This is the photo 20 years ago when I was a Tokyo University student. My first career as an entrepreneur is the relationship with Yahoo Inc. As you know, the search engine, the first search engine in the world. And the founder, Jerry Yang, was at the time a Stanford University student. And he was maybe 25 or 26 years old. And I was 22 years old at the time. And just a number of employees of the Yahoo Inc. was only 15 people, 15. And they are very, very pretty young startup. And he liked to go abroad, expand regionally. And my brother found his company, and he has invested some amount of money to the Yahoo. And then the day he came to Japan. And at the time, there were no experts of the developing the internet system in Japan. So I was involved as a project leader of the Japanese database of the Yahoo Japan. So my center one is me, 20 years ago, and I had more hair than today. Anyway, so those are my friends, and I started with them with just one room, and they called the Indigo Corporation. And then after that, I spent 20 years to just creating the new companies, and sometimes I'm invest as an angel investors, and so on. So today, I'm almost 100% dedicating to the new company called Mistletoe. The Mistletoe is not the typical venture capital or the typical startup accelerator or the incubator, but we call ourselves a very interesting name called the Collective Impact Studio, and the Collective Impact Community. So it's not just a company, but I like to create a community to change the world better. So I'm now involving not only the employees, but also the many researchers, designers, my friend entrepreneurs, and so on, to exchange the new ideas and create some new projects to integrate the great innovations into the collective impact. So my mission, our mission is that we turn entrepreneurial challenges into the world impacts. So venture capital is just investing into invest money into the enterprising startups and just support, hands-on support. But so investment is not our primary activity, but in the beginning, if we find a great entrepreneurs who has a great ideas and a unique technology, and then we start discussion about how we can solve the big issues in the world. And then, so we will start the joint development, research and development project with them. And then if we could finally find a great, unique approach to bring some new innovations to the world, and then, and also if they need us raising the new funding, and then we will provide some money or some resources for the development or the managing the company and so on. So, and also each startup has some great innovations in certain area, but I don't think that just one each innovation will solve the big issues in the world. So our role is integrating those innovations into collective impacts. So so last 20 years, I have experienced many kind of the hardship and some small success and so on. And I have many friends in the world to bring some difference. So we will play a role of the kind of the meta-entrepreneur. So just making a chemistry among the entrepreneurs, innovators, and create the new solutions to solve the issue. So that's what we are doing now. So I will explain my latest thoughts from now. Please look at this slide, first of all. This is 1900, the Easter morning, the Fifth Avenue of New York. It was more than 100 years ago. So all the traffic is the coaches, the horses, right? But there's only one automobile made by the Ford. It's a T-type, Ford T-type, the car. So this slide shows that it's first in the world, people's history, the car rode on a road officially in the city. But this one, 13 years later from then, the same day of the Fifth Avenue, and all the traffic became the cars, and there was only one coach there. So it's just 13 years, right? So it's such a short period of time that everything has been changed. So so we can learn from those two slides that sometimes in once or twice in a year, in 100 years, sometimes we will face face that this kind of the dramatic change in a very short period of time. So as you know, in these days, thanks to the development of the rapid development of the artificial intelligence or the robotics and so on, autonomous vehicles, drones, and so those kind of new technologies coming. And so I think now is another timing that we will experience the drastic change in a short period of time. So I'm going to show you the one interesting company we are supporting. This is a Silicon Valley company called Zoox. They are developing autonomous vehicle technology using the simulation technology and image recognition and so on. So when we met the founders, they are the very young guys, 29 years old or something like that. And then they asked me that, hey, Taizo Son, have you watched the movie called Matrix? And the sci-fi movie. Then yeah, of course, I have watched the Matrix. So, and they said that we are developing that Matrix. What did you say? And then actually, they are developing the real simulator of the Palo Alto, which is one of the cities in Silicon Valley. And even the one leaf of the trees, they are simulating in real time, spending the great, huge computing resources. And then the roads and the towns are there, and the people living in the virtual city, and each person has their own AI. And also the cars are going around, and the trains and buses. It's based on the algorithm, the timetable. It's running, actually. And in the virtual Palo Alto, this car is driving every day. And according to them, that's more than 300,000 times a day this car is riding. And I saw some of the simulation. And then sometimes, because it's still very early stage and immature as an AI, so sometimes it break into the building and break everything inside the buildings. Or sometimes this car hit the people and kill them. But it's okay because it's a virtual simulation, so we do no harm. So because it's more than 300,000 times a day, as they were simulating, and the AI is learning. So according to them, in 2020, they will be commercialized. So I strongly believe that they can make the amazing AI for the autonomous vehicle. So I think we can make a new slide to 2020, that within just a couple of years, our landscape in a city will be totally changed radically. So they are the founders. And also, I'd like to introduce another guy, the Japanese young guy. And he's now developing the personal mobility like this. It's a very small one, so I'm going to show you the video. This is not just the electric skateboard, but it has a bunch of sensors and a bunch of the new technologies inside it. For example, the accelerometer, gyro, the GPS, and so on. And also they have the very well-designed the body, the weight sensor. So how to ride is very simple. And just standing on this car and think, I like to go there. that direction. That is good enough. And then the motor is inside the wheel, and so the tire itself, the wheel itself will rotate. So there's no drive shaft and gears at all. That's very simple. That is the unique part of their technology. And then, and also there's no steering at all. So it's just a difference of the rotation of the left and right, and then they can turn right and left. So, so if I think that I like to go there, and then slightly my body balance will change, and then that sensor will detect that slight change, slight shift, and it also has some kind of the machine learning features in the future. So it's very good, easy to ride. So, and according to him, according to them, so it's not still under development, not commercialized, and it's still under development. But within a year or so, they're going to launch it. And according to them, that is not a car or the automotive, but the extension of the walking. So it's an augmentation of the foot, the walking. So our mindset will be changed. For example, if it is just a 5 minutes walk, we will walk, right? But if it is more than 15 minutes or 20 minutes, so we will hesitate to walk, right? But with this, yeah, let's go there, by walk. So that kind of a casual mindset is totally different from the the experience of the mindset of the riding the vehicles. So that is also the very unique one. And also I will show you another one. This guy is he's also a very young guy, and he's in the Silicon Valley, and he is now developing the unmanned aerial vehicle. Which has the very intelligent AI. So, you know, in these days, Google or Amazon is developing the delivery drones. But according to them, distance per charge is just 5 kilometers or 6 kilometers like that. But this UAV, it flies more than 100 kilometers per charge. Because once they launch and then take off, and then that plane will look for the wind. And once it catches the wind, it stops the propelling and fly like a bird. And then if it will lose the wind, and then after they're using a motor, start seeking for another wind. So, to save the battery. So like that, they are developing, and this kind of the very effective, intelligent the UAV. And, but because of the regulation issues, even in the US or even in Japan, they can't fly. So they moved to the Rwanda, Africa, and with our support and also the Mr. Bill Gates Foundation, and also the United Nations, they had made a project to deliver the vaccine or the bloods to the hospitals in Rwanda, Africa. Until a couple of years ago, there was the battle there, the war there. So all the infrastructure was destroyed. So sometimes it took 4 or 5 hours to deliver the bloods. But with this, just 15 minutes to deliver the bloods and the vaccines. So they are thinking for the very innovative idea that they will bring, they are not bringing just a drone, but they are bringing a new methodology to reduce the refrigerator in each hospitals. You know, if it is just 15 minutes or 20 minutes to deliver the vaccine, and in one time they can carry the 4 kilograms in one time, and just the cost of the one time it will be the distance is $3. So it's very cheap. So they don't have to set up the refrigerator in each hospitals, right? So that was a very innovating idea to deliver the ambulance network, especially in emerging countries. So those are the technologies we're supporting, and in the beginning, I was thinking of that if we could adapt those new technologies into our existing city, and then what kind of benefit we can get. But I came up to the new idea, and I totally changed my mind that we should definitely design the new city from scratch so that we can take advantage of the 100% potential of those new technologies. Because, you know, today, the city is built in the 20th century. Because of the rise of the car technologies or trains, the airplanes, that was the 20th century's the transportation technology. So the cities built in the 20th century is designed on based on those technologies. So if you look at the New York, Manhattan, New York, there is a Grand Central stations there in center of the city, and the grids of the roads for the cars are there. So they design the blocks of the buildings, right? But with those new technologies, I think we can design the new cities. So that was my first insight, looking at those new technologies. But what kind of city we should design for the 21st century? That was the next big question to me. So I strongly believe that we should build a city. If we build a city newly from the scratch, that city should be definitely the human-centered design, right? So stemmed from the empathy. So this is one of the just a sample image, and it's not the real one. But we are thinking of those new cities. There's no roads for the cars, but it's good for the personal mobilities or the drones. So everybody can, everything will be in a walking distance, like the old town of the Tallinn. I walked around yesterday, and I thought that it's really human-centered design and really convenient because everything is within walking distance. So it's very convenient for people. And also, you know, in Japan, sometimes, especially in Tokyo, if you live in Tokyo, there are so many traffics. So the children running around. So every time if they go out from the house, we worry them that, hey, don't run, especially around the roads. Otherwise, you will be hit by the cars. So be careful. Be careful from the automotives. So that is the mandatory message to the children when they go out. But if we could make a human-centered design city, we don't have to worry about hitting by the cars in this kind of things. It's very human-centered. So from the parents' point of view, it's a very, very relaxing. So, so I strongly believe that we should definitely create, if we have a chance to create something newly, then we should definitely think like this. And also, for the infrastructure of the city, especially for the energy or the waters and so on, you know, in these days, people are talking about the smart city and smart grid. But in my opinion, I don't think the smart grid is the future. The future will be the off-grid. So, you know, the Elon Musk has announced that the solar energy roof, which is much more reasonable than the traditional roof. And then there's no reason to change from the old traditional roof to the new one, right? So that will be great for the off-grid because we don't need any electricity lines for managing the electricity in the house, right? And also, this guy is also the young Japanese guy, and he is developing a water recycling system for the small scale for the households. So those are the prototype, but today's the newest prototype is the very small, like this, a small suitcase size. So with this prototype, we can take a shower permanently with 20 liters of the water. So according to them, if American four people family uses taking shower for a month, and then they will consume more than 1,600 liters a month. But with this, 20 liters is good enough to take a shower for everybody, because it's always filtering and make it clean. With the new IoT technology and the filtering system using the new biotechnology. So this will be the final design, and they will ship next year maybe. And with this kind of things, we can, for example, we can set up a shower booth in front of the beach or on top of the mountain. We can take a shower, or we can make a kitchen in front of the beach or anywhere in center of the desert. So that makes us very free to locate where we live, right? Or where locate the restaurants, or especially for the refugees camp in a disaster. In case of the disaster, it's very, very convenient for the people. So those kind of technology will be the great for the next generation infrastructure for the city. So time is coming. So we are now developing another healthcare and so on. And also, I'd like to introduce my latest startup as a serial entrepreneur. That because of the AI and robotics, we don't need a traditional education system anymore. This is my personal opinion still, but I don't think we don't need we need a traditional education system like schools anymore, because you know, the learning the information and knowledge and memorize it is nothing, doesn't work so much for the future, in the future, because the AI will replace those roles. So for the people, human beings will in charge of the more creative side of the creating new values. So instead of the teaching, providing the self-directed learning environment is very important. So I just recently started the new we won't say the school, but the kind of a new environment for the kids. Like this. We call ourselves the seed accelerator for the kids. You know, it's similar to the Y Combinator or the Techstars for the kids. So we will provide every kind of the creative tools for the software and hardware and so on, drills, 3D printers, scanners, and so on. And then we won't teach at all, but we will set up the experts. And they won't teach, but if the children come and they will make a pitch, I like to create this kind of things. And then, oh, this is cool idea. So we will support you to brush up your ideas so that we can make it happen. And then, so those crews, my colleagues, and they are ex-Sony guys and experts of the hardware design, or from my ex-Microsoft guy of the software engineering and UI designers and so on. And they definitely give children a helping hand to make something happen. And we won't charge any money to the children or the children's parents, and totally free. But for the sustainability, our business model is when in the future we will make the great products designed by the children, and then we will sell commercially. And if it sells well, and we will pay the royalty to the kids or the kids' parents, and then we got the profit, and then we will allocate those profit to run those kind of the facilities. So that will be the it's kind of the after-school program so far. But I think this will be the kind of one of the future figure of the learning environment for the people. So lastly, the reason why I came to Turin, I'd like to share with you that I strongly believe that in order to make great innovations and solve the big issues in the world, we should definitely build a community to exchange the great ideas or technologies and knowledges, know-hows, and so on. So I don't think we by ourselves, we can make innovations and change the world. So we need more people, and then more diversity, much better. So we should involve various kind of the people from the various kind of the area, genre. So in order to accelerate the innovations, the connecting dots will be the ultimate solutions for it. So that's why I came here. I like to be the bridge among the people, Estonia, such a great talents country, Estonia. And also, I have some network in Asia and the United States. So I like to be more than happy to be the bridge among those parties. So that's why I came here. And especially in these days, I'm based in Singapore from January this year, because Singapore is one of the most advanced country like Estonia, even though it's a small country, that government people are the very forward-thinking guys, and they have the power and influence, and also the budgets and the resources to make innovative technologies and solutions. So actually, there's one area called One North in Singapore. This is one of the most innovative strategic area for the innovations in Singapore. And they will make a regulatory sandbox in this area. And I started sharing this idea with them. And then they told me that your idea and vision is totally aligned with our ideas and visions. So we start conversation with them to create a new innovative city there from scratch, maybe from end of this year. So lastly, one more thing, I'd like to share, make one proposal to you guys. That the reason why the name of the One North is it's a latitude 1 North. Really, seriously. So I don't think it's a coincidence. So it's a great serendipity. So why don't we bring latitude 59 to Singapore and hold a latitude 1 event, so that, and then we can we can connect the dots more. So I'm more than happy to invite you guys to Singapore, and let's make a great movement, you guys, together with us. Thank you very much.